set my career on a new path. You know, I made records back in the early 80s for a long time, but I couldn't prove it because nobody had them. I didn't know how to do anything else. And I just stuck with it, you know, and then finally a couple of songs came along and it changed everything. And I was so grateful that that happened, you know. And, after the first hit I had, I got a phone call from a really great songwriter. You probably won't know his name. His name was Max D. Barnes. He was one of the best country songwriters that ever lived. He wrote songs like Who's Gonna Fill Their Shoes and all that. He wrote a great Vern Gosdin song called Chiseled in Stone. And if you've never heard that song, it is brutal how sad it is. The last line of the song is, you don't know about lonely till it's chiseled in stone. I thought, God dang, that's awesome. Anyway, I was a huge fan of Max D's. And so he called me up and he said, hey kid, you think maybe you might want to come out and write some songs with me? And I said, yes sir, I'd be honored, you know. And so we made a date. I was excited to get to, you know, to write a song with Max. And, I'd always thought that Chiseled in Stone, like I said, was one of the saddest songs I've ever heard. I thought it was the saddest song I'd ever heard in my life until there's a song that my father used to sing to me when I was a little boy. It was a song called Old Shep. And if you moaned, you've heard it. It's the most morbid, sad folk song in the world. It's a story, if you've never heard it, it's a story about a boy and his dog. And they grow up together, and the dog is the greatest dog that ever lived, saved him from drowning, a couple of bad marriages, and just this wonderful dog, you know. And as morbid folk songs go, they have to have a sad ending. So this was the saddest of all. At the end of the song, this guy's beloved dog grows old, and he has to shoot it. He has to shoot his own dog. Don't turn on me, I didn't write the damn thing. But anyway, when I was a little boy, my father used to sing this song to me, and it was really, really rough. After a lot of years of therapy, the therapist finally concluded that my father did this strictly for meanness. Anyway, all that to say is, when it was the time for me to get to play some music with my dad, those were the greatest times of my life. He sat me down, showed me a few chords. He played the banjo a little bit, and the guitar a little bit, and in my eyes, my dad was like Chet Atkins and Earl Scruggs, all rolled up into one father. Come to find out, he wasn't very good at all. But anyway, he passed the love on to me. And anyway, we'd have the opportunity to play and sing together, and those, like I said, were the greatest times. And after a while, we'd been playing, it was bedtime for me, and he'd look at me, take a hit off his cigarette, and he goes, hey, it's time for you to go to bed. I said, oh, Daddy, can't we play one more song? He said, I told you once, don't make me tell you twice, get your ass to bed, you know. And so I'd say, come on, Dad, just one more song. And he'd look at me. When I was a lad, and old Shep was a pup, over hills and meadows we'd stray. I would run to my room as fast as I could go. I would dive into my bed, I'd put the pillow over my head, and I'd go, oh God, he's gonna shoot that dog at the end of this. Very traumatic for me. That was my childhood. Anyway, all that to say was Chiseled in Stone, I thought, was the second saddest song of all times, behind Old Shep. So Max had called and said, hey kid, come out and write some songs with me. So I had a little idea, and I didn't want to show up empty-handed, so I had this next song I'm about to sing for you. I had the idea for it. And I thought, he'll love this. He wrote Chiseled in Stone. It was about a couple that had been together for a long time, and they weren't going to make it. They were going to break up. And so I went out to his palatial estate out in the country and visited for a while. He said, well, kid, you got any ideas? I said, well, I've got this one thing I think you might like. He said, well, play it for me. Play me what you got. You know, so I played it for him. I finished, and I said, what do you think? He goes, son, that's too sad. I said, excuse me? You're telling me the man that wrote Chiseled in Stone, that this song is too sad? I said, Chiseled in Stone is the second saddest song of all time. How can this be too sad? He said, what the hell's sadder than Chiseled in Stone? I said, Old Shep. I said, God, boy, is that morbid folk song where the guy shoots his own dog? Yes, sir. He He said, well, you might have me there. You might have me. He said, you got a good idea. He said, you're just going about it the wrong way. I said, well, what do you mean? He said, well, in my view, I think that couple should stay together in this song. And I made the mistake of saying, Max, are you sure? He kind of chuckled. He said, son, look around here and tell me what you see. I said, okay, I see a really big house out in the country. I said, there's a couple of Grammys over there on the shelves. A bunch of gold records on the wall. You know, nice Cadillac out front. He goes, yeah, you might want to listen to me. Anyway, I did. We turned the song around, made it a positive song. And how beautiful life is. I too now have a really nice Cadillac. This is that song. After all that we've been through, look at us, still leaning on each other. If you want to see how true love should be, then just look at us. Look at you, still pretty as a picture. Look at me, still crazy over you. Look at us, still believing in forever. If you want to see how true love should be, then just look at us. In a hundred years from now, I know without a doubt they'll all look back and wonder how we made it all work out. Chances are we'll go down in history when they want to see how true love should be. They'll just look at us. Chances are we'll go down in history when they want to see how true